This is A Drugless Life. Podcast by Dr. Paul Beckham and All Seasons Full Body Chiropractic Center. Using alternative, complementary, and integrative medicine to help you live a drugless life. We get you back to doing what moves you.
Boom, we're live here. Okay.
Awesome. Woohoo. So today on A Drugless Life podcast, we have a guest. We've got Tracy Kouba with Inspired Signals. So welcome, Tracy. Thank you for being on. Did I say your last name wrong?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you say
Kouba.
it? Kouba. I've known you for what?
I know.
10 years, 15 years.
I've known Tracy too, and I don't think I could pronounce her last name either. So
Kouba. I've been saying it wrong.
Yeah.
I think I would say
it wrong.
Kouba. Is probably how I said it, but
Well, now everybody listening to this podcast, they're never going to get it wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, they will.
They'll say it all different ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, so Tracy is in our mastermind group. So we've got a mastermind group where we've got holistic, alternative medicine and healers that we just get together every other week, and we mastermind on business concepts. And she was sharing some of what she does in our last mastermind, and it was really powerful. So we wanted to have her on to just talk a little bit more about what she does. And Tracy is a holistic coach. And so Tracy, why don't you share with us a little bit about what that means and how you help people?
Mm-hmm. So I do a lot of different energy modalities. I have been working in the energy healing field for over 10 years. I've been doing it longer than that, but working in it professionally for that long. I do Reiki. I'm a Reiki master and teacher, so I teach classes and also do clients. And then I do theta healing, which is another energy modality that works in the subconscious and cellular memory. It's you can heal a lot of things like from past lives, from ancestral things, back generations that are stuck in your cellular memory. So that's an awesome modality. And then I do a modality that's called Erks Edna. And Erks Edna is another energy modality, but it has some physical aspects too. It helps, for one thing, connect your organs and your body to your mind. So there's a better communication there. And you can work with a lot of allergies with it, but you can also work with helping your cells open up and absorb nutrients better. When we get stressed out or sick or bombarded by all the electromagnetic energy around us, that shuts our cell function down. So our cells are protecting themselves by shutting down, and then they're not absorbing the nutrients like they should. So even if you eat all organic, take amazing supplements, you're not absorbing them like you should if your cell function is shut down. And that's why a lot of people have adrenal fatigue, stuff like that. So this modality helps open up those cells and helps your brain and cellular structure communicate better so that you can absorb the nutrients again. It also is a great modality for things like trauma release, helping you get past traumas that have been, even childhood, even before you were born. Things that happened to your mom while she was pregnant with you can cause stress on that fetus. So it helps you release that stuff. So we don't realize sometimes all the things that we're carrying on our shoulders. So it helps release that. It's also good for chronic pain. So it does a lot of different things. And you do a whole session with, you start with the physical, then you go to the emotional, and then you go to the spiritual kind of thing to release what's blocking you.
So I heard somebody say, and it just has always, it really resonated with me. We don't just inherit our physical traits, like our hair color and our eye color. We know we say, oh, you talk just like your mom, or you have the same mannerisms as your dad. Well, those are energy things, I'm guessing, but they come through in our DNA, just like the trauma that our parents and our descendants experienced as well. And so I don't know, I heard that and it's just really stuck with me. And I'm guessing from what you say, that's kind of the stuff that you work with, is that that kind of past trauma stuff.
Yeah, it helps you release that so you don't have to carry that on to the next generation. And as you, like if I work on you for that, it can help remove that from your children already. Even though I'm not working on them, it takes away that energy from their being. So it's
and that's
pretty
because
cool
you're kind
stuff.
of clearing up the person that you're working on, so that just doesn't perpetuate it forward.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So what happens if somebody doesn't have kids? What if they have nieces and nephews? Would it benefit their nieces and nephews?
It could. In it, you use kinesiology, so you could test that if it removed it from them. Most of the time, you'd have to work on them, their parents, though, or them. But it depends on what it is. It could remove that from them, too, yeah.
It's just, isn't it fascinating? I
It
just
is
find all this
so
stuff we don't
It's pretty
know.
deep.
Yeah, it does. It does get deep.
We went from shallow to deep fast.
Yeah. I'm pretty deep, so I go down the wormhole.
Yes. That's what makes this stuff
pretty awesome.
interesting and fun.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to know, you have been doing energy work for many years, because when I first met you, you actually did my Reiki attunement. And so that was, 10 years ago probably. So I would like to know, what is your why behind doing energy work, and what brought you here today to this
Another
spot?
deep question.
Yeah. I thought a lot about that, but mostly my why is I want to help people because I helped myself. It helped me so much to learn. Like Reiki is where I started. Grew up very shy. I would have never thought of doing a podcast, speaking in front of anybody. If someone said hi to me, I turned red, which I wear my emotions on my neck. And still do that today a little bit, not as bad as I used to, but I would have felt like crawling under the table. You know, I just, I don't know, I was shy, really, really deathly shy. And Reiki was the first thing that helped me kind of break out of my shell, and it felt like I had known it forever, the Reiki energy. And I really did, because when I first found out about it, I knew the word. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know anything about it, but the first thing I did when I moved to a bigger area, I grew up in a small town, I found a teacher and I learned it right away. I knew I had to. It was just me, part of me that had been missing, that made me more whole. So when I saw what it did for me and how it helped me, I decided I wanted to share that with people, because I know there's a lot of people out there that were like me that, didn't know what else to do. I mean, when you don't know about the energy side of things, you think, what you see is all there is. But there's so much more to our beings, and I knew there was a big void that wasn't filled that could help a lot of people. So it's just my passion to share that kind of work with people so that they can help themselves and heal themselves. It's not me that's doing the healing. I'm just a facilitator or a conduit for the energy. So
I think that's what you were kind of even describing at our last meeting here too. It's more like you kind of knew that you were maybe a healer,
right?
But then also had other people kind of confirm that for you too.
Yeah, exactly. I just did what was natural to me. I didn't put a label on it or didn't know what I was doing. And then when I was told that, I was like, oh, really? Huh, guess that's what I am. I don't know. But yeah, it was always natural for me.
So do you help other people then with your modalities and your coaching with shyness and with anxiety? Have you had patients or clients, I guess?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I coached one gal for quite a while that she didn't feel comfortable in her skin. She didn't know what she really liked. She was scared to like what she liked. You know, she thought it was too weird or whatever. And I helped her through that. I helped her get some clarity on what really made her feel good to do. And, you know, she was going to college and she just wasn't happy, and she was just doing it because that's what you're supposed to do. And she was going for all the wrong things. She was an amazing artist. And when she switched her major to do that, she was so happy and realized, you know, that was where her heart was and she should follow that. So that's what I like to do with my clients, is help them figure that out. You know, if you don't want to be stuck in a job for 30 years that you hate, you know, or that doesn't fulfill you in any heartfelt way. So yeah,
I think that's happening so much, especially in America. We're just so, you know, drive all the time. Right. You know, money. You know, we're feeding that energy, and feeding that heart is what really I think a lot of people are missing, and they don't realize that that's what they're missing. But then when they realize that's what it is, it's just like this whole new world opens up.
Yeah.
So when somebody comes in for the first time, kind of walk us through, you know, do you ask them what kind of therapies, because you use a number of different ones. Do you ask what one they want to utilize, or do you feel into it, or explain that?
Sometimes people come to me just for a specific thing because they know what I do, and they might not know a lot about it, but I'll, guide them if they tell me what they're wanting or what they're trying to figure out or get help with. I'll suggest which modality that I do that would help them the most to start with. Sometimes we do one session, and then that will open up into something else that will help them more. So I like to get to know my clients and what they're working on. You know, sometimes somebody will come to me and it's real personal for them, so they don't have to talk about it if they don't want. If they just want to relax or, de-stress, I feel like I offer a safe place for them to do that. So if they're down the road, they open up and are able to talk about things or whatever it is, then we'll do something else. So yeah, I try to figure out what will work best for them in their situation and go there.
Yeah. I know I've had I think a few, like about 3 sessions or so with you now, and it's been kind of interesting, I guess. It's hard to describe sometimes. I mean,
it is. Yeah.
And I know even the first session didn't really talk about what I even experienced during it, but then you had some things to kind of say afterwards, and it's like, okay, I know that it was kind of odd, and I swear I saw something. I couldn't tell if it was like a sheep or a lion or something like that I saw. It was just a weird scenario there, and I think the next time I came, I kind of told you about that, and I definitely saw something more And I'm still trying to determine, and I know the last time I was in, it's like, okay, I'm trying to determine, was it a wolf or a lion? A wolf or a lion? And she's like, your mind couldn't settle down for the first bit, because I'm sitting there trying to, okay, was it a wolf or a lion?
Right.
Am I going to see a wolf? She's like, your mind just wouldn't settle down for a while. I'm like, I'm trying to
Yeah.
So do you pull like psychic abilities out in people, or explain what what happened there?
Sometimes, not all the times, I get messages while I'm working on someone in Reiki anyway. I'll just get a feeling or hear a word or whatever, so I can ask them about it. And I don't usually talk too much during a session, because I like you to let go. Like Paul said, his mind was going and going at first, and then you can just feel the energy shift when someone lets go and relaxes. So I like to get them to that point, and then after the session I'll talk about what came to me. Sometimes I see colors, and for me, I work a lot in the chakra system, so each chakra is represented by a color. So say I see yellow while I have my eyes closed, and I have my eyes closed most of the time when I'm working on someone in Reiki, and I'll see a color. So if it's yellow, that tells me their solar plexus either needs work, or it's really working hard, or it needs some attention.
Now you're pointing to a certain area of your body. Now where is the solar plexus?
So the solar plexus is right under your rib cage, between your rib cage and your belly button. So of course that's all your digestive system, and that's where right now a lot of people have trouble. You hear people, everyone you talk to has some kind of digestive problem, so, and it's because we're holding all that stress in. That's where you hold your grudges, your stress, your anxieties, your all that kind of stuff, and it builds up in our digestive system, so we're not processing our food correctly. So if you can send energy there, it helps your body remove those blocks that are holding that stuff in. So on the Reiki table, someone might have an emotional release. You might have tears come, or be yawning or something, and that's a good sign. Your stomach will rumble, and that's means that energy is starting to move. So that's a sign to me that, okay, it's starting to work, and it's like an onion. It peels away the layers, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I know even when we got kind of done with the session, she was kind of explaining some of the colors that she even saw, and I'm like, yeah, I saw those as well. So I mean, it was more like, okay, that's definitely some of the things that I saw too. So
yeah, and a lot of times the person I'm working on will see the colors. That's the most comment, or the most often comment that I hear, is that they saw colors while I was working on them. So that's a good indication that it's starting to work, even though they might not know what it means, but, and that's okay.
So do people need to come in for you said it's like peeling the layers of an onion, so they don't just come in and you healing them and all of a sudden they're fixed. Right. Okay, so explain a little more about that.
It depends on what you're working on. If you're just coming in for stress relief, which a lot of people is what they use energy work for, when you get stressed out again when you need to come back. But if it's something emotional or something that they're trying to heal in their past, sometimes it takes a couple sessions. I had a guy one time that I worked on like every week for a while, then he'd come every 2 weeks, and then once a month. But it all depends on the person. And I'm not a pushy salesperson, so I'm not trying to get you back only when you need it. So I just tell everyone, my clients, if you'll know when you need to come back, so just let me know. I don't, unless they know they want to come back every other week or something like that, then that's good. I've worked with runners that need that healing. I also use an amethyst biomat that helps your circulation and helps your body heal, and it's really good for stress too. And I've had runners come and use the biomat like after a race to speed the recovery after a race. And so yeah, it's just every individual is different. And
I actually experienced your biomat and bought one, ended up buying one for my home because I had such a positive experience from it. And I find that my significant other hoards it. So we fight over it.
Too. Yeah.
I think he doesn't realize how it is healing him, but I don't know. Sure. It's like a calming thing, almost like a baby with its blanket, you get, so you need that peace. Yeah. So it's definitely a positive healing
really is
modality.
Yeah, it's a huge healing tool. And it's scientifically proven in 90 seconds after you're on there, it starts shutting down pain and stress signals in your brain. So it really is doing huge work, even though, you get totally relaxed, and you can get really deep if you do meditation while you're laying on there. It's awesome, an awesome experience. So, yeah.
Yeah. I know I relax really well on it. So,
yeah.
So,
good.
You mentioned before we went live on the podcast here that you've got a class coming up about the chakra system, which you were just talking about, the colors and the energy spaces on your body. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's a 6-week class, and it's going to be Friday mornings at 11 a.m. Central Time. It's on Zoom, so it will be a live interactive webinar. And I will record them too, so if you can't be there live, you can still do the class and watch the recordings. I've taken a couple classes on just the chakra system, and one of them I went pretty deep in. It was a weekend immersed class, and it used essential oils and taught a lot more about the chakra system than I ever knew was possible. So I put some of that teaching into my class. I also do a lot of crystal work and healing with stones. And so I'm going to teach a little bit about that, how they relate to the chakra system. We're going to go through each chakra, and then we do a meditation on the chakras at the end of each class. So it's a really fun class. Every class is about an hour each, and it'll be pretty in-depth. It's a basic class. I'll do a more advanced one later, but this is on just 7, or I work with 9 chakras rather than 7, but there really are 12 or more so that are in the energetic system. There's chakras in every knuckle and everywhere, that's where you take in your life force energy. So
who would be an ideal person to take in this class? Somebody who's just learning about energy systems?
Yeah, because this is a basic one. And the chakra system is where every energy modality really works in. When your chakras are out of alignment or spinning wrong or in the wrong color, they can be, that's when your body feels off and it's not working, all the systems aren't working together. So when you work on the chakra system, it helps balance that whole energy system.
And when you say somebody's feeling off, it can be, what would some of those off symptoms be?
If you're tired, if you just feel like something's not right in my body, and we don't pay attention to our emotional state enough, that because we're busy all the time, always going 100 miles an hour, and the chakra system is that energy. So I don't usually get tired in the afternoon. I'm tired all of a sudden. What's going on? Maybe my stomach is feeling weird. It might be just some energy stuck there. So that's where I personally go first, is working on the energy system to start. feeling better if you don't feel good, so it can be, oh, I feel emotional this week. What's going on? It's might be something in your chakras that's
taking on somebody else's
right.
energy, and you think it's your own.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So, I want to be able to direct people to this. And so where are you going to have your information to register for the chakra class? So I can make sure I direct people there.
You can go to my Facebook page. It's just Inspired Signals, @Inspired Signals. And I will post a link on there.
Okay. So I will put a link to your Facebook page.
Awesome.
Anywhere that you happen to be listening to this or watching this, there will be a link to Tracy's Facebook page. Is there anything else you would like to make sure I send out to them or link up with them? You have a website?
I don't have a website yet. No. Facebook and Instagram, Inspired Signals. That's pretty much where you can find me.
Where's your office located?
My office is in West Fargo. It's in the Midway office building. It's at 623 Main Avenue East, and I'm number 205. My office I share with 2 other gals, and we call our space Soul Space. And we have a Facebook page for that too. But that's the 3 of us together.
Okay.
So we always post everything on that page too, all 3 of us. So individually. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else, Dr. Paul, that you think we missed?
Just my experience with Tracy is that, it's just help with being able to relax is probably, I'm sure what most people are kind of looking for there. And have had other benefits in that. I guess I still don't even know exactly what it all means there, but it's still kind of like, okay, this is kind of odd here, but
yeah.
I'm sure there's some meaning behind all of it. So
right, yeah, and it does help you open up to other things, on the spiritual realm or whatever, and learning Reiki really helps you open up to the spiritual world, or the, people call it woo-woo world, but it really isn't to be. I mean, it's fun and you can take it lightly, but that's where a lot of the healing occurs. When you don't heal those emotions, that's when it manifests into physical problems. So if you catch that right away, you're not going to manifest it into digestive issues or migraine headaches or whatever. A lot of times they can be linked back to emotional things. So if you heal the body as a whole, body, mind, spirit, you can go a lot deeper and get a lot better work done and a lot faster results if you're treating the body as a whole instead of just a physical thing.
Well, and I think that just brought up one more thing. You had taught me Reiki 1 and Reiki 2, and I know that you're always teaching Reiki classes. So if somebody is interested in learning the practice of Reiki so they can do it on their friends, their family, maybe it's something that they want to do outside of family, or just, open up that soul space, so to speak, so they can develop some more of those, gifts.
Yeah.
When do you have another class coming up?
I have a level 1 class coming September 24th. I teach level 1 and level 2 every other month throughout the year. And then when I have enough people that want to go to the master level, I'll do a class. I just did a master class last week. So yeah, every other month there's always a class going on, and except in the summer. I usually take June and July off from classes, but...
And will that info be on your Inspired Signals as well? Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Tracy,
for
being here and being a guest.
It was fun.
Yes.
Sharing of your gifts.
And sharing, your healing abilities. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's fun. I love it.
Well, that concludes this week's episode of A Drugless Life podcast. Until next time.
I hope you got good information.
Thank
Have a good
you.
day.
Thanks for listening to A Drugless Life. For further information or to set up an appointment, visit our website at drpaulbeckham.com or give us a call at 701-356-0016.